Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Behind the Lava Lava. My name is Atimua Mingi, and I have my co-host here with me, Mr. Michael Tan and Spencer. We're gonna talk a little bit about a year in review. We haven't done and we know we're in February right now, but it's still part of the we're still in the beginning stages of this new year 2024. But we want to talk a little bit about if any of our goals and any of our New Year's resolution from 2023, if we met any of that, kind of review and talk about it here in a little bit, and then we'll kind of scoot on over to this year's resolutions and things that we want to overcome. So I'll open up the table to my co-host here. See if any of you guys want to tackle this subject head on.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're coming back to this. I know I was kind of pushing the subject because, I enjoy the concept of New Year's resolution. The thing about New Year's resolutions is I think sometimes people overthink them. It's like they're not a binding contract. There's no such thing as like, why even make them if you're just going to kick them to the curb? I'm like, look, it's just about setting goals so you can start, aiming in the right direction, hopefully, kind of giving yourself some focus for the new year. That's how I think of them. Like they're not a binding contract or nothing. And so that's why, look, you're going to find out as we keep talking about this, I basically missed the mark on all of my New Year's resolutions. You go back and play the episode from last year and all of the goals I set for myself last year, mostly I didn't accomplish. We'll get to that in a minute, but that's okay. That's not the point of the resolution. Is it gives you a direction to aim for, and you can adjust your goals as you go. As life is a complicated thing. You're constantly hit with new factors. You need to be able to roll with the punches and make adjustments along the way. That's just realistic. But that's just my 2 cents on it. Just looking forward to getting into it with you guys. But like I said, some people, it's like they act almost offended when you ask them about setting New Year's resolutions. No, I don't do that. No, that ain't real. I'm like, okay, man, cool. It was never meant to be something like, super committal, but whatever.
Hey, I'm in the same boat, Spence, man. It's a malleable thing. It's all, you could bend it however you want it. And I feel the same way too, because like a lot of times when I set goals for myself, even like short-term goals, like I never, like I don't know, maybe somebody that's really, really like anal about their life, they'll probably get right to it. But I don't know. I think it's just an islander thing. So I don't know.
So for me, to be honest, that I don't remember any of my last year's resolution goals, but I'm pretty sure I knocked them out of the ballpark. But one thing that stays with me that I said I was going to do was graduate with my bachelor's degree, and I managed to do that in the spring of last year. So I graduated with my bachelor's in criminal justice, and that was an amazing feeling to accomplish something, because I'm a first gen graduate, the only one in my family so far to have a bachelor's degree, and that would hopefully set a precedent for the rest of my family, and hopefully for my daughters if they decide to pursue college education when they graduate high school. But I think one main thing that stood out for me, I think my uncle Bruce Lee once said to kind of keep the things and add things that will help you out in life, discard the things that don't. And then he said some other things, but that's the only thing I remember. But I find that I was able to accomplish a lot last year, and hopefully this year I would continue to be consistent, especially when it comes to goals with a podcast, with our Pacific Islander dinner, which will be a gala this year, and so forth. So I have a lot that I'm planning on doing, and I'm sure we'll cover more of it as we progress throughout the year of what my goals are for our platform, some personal development goals, and etc.
Yeah, I think we have the same uncle, man. So yeah, I remember him saying something to be flaw like, or be bendable like water, water, So if he's your uncle, that means he's my uncle too as well. So anyhow, I would say that 99% of my goal, number one goal that I set for myself last year, which was to actually try to take the MCAT, never happened. So I tried studying. I studied for maybe a whole month, and it wasn't really productive studying. And the reason why was because, of course, both you guys know, and baby came on board in January of last year. So I'm not blaming for, that's not an excuse, but it's kind of is, because when you have a newborn baby on board, that's priority. Whatever my priorities are and my lady's priority, like, we like that's number one now in the books. So every demand, every ounce of my being, my energy goes to raising that my daughter. So that's where I'm kind of, I've kind of fell down the goal of, trying to meet last year. But however, though, I'm glad that I'm in the new year, and one of the good news is my mother-in-law is retiring, and we already got her on, our list as the dependent. So when she comes up here, she'll be the babysitter number one. I mean, this is just, I haven't discussed this yet with the lady, but so she's going to be the babysitter, and I'm going to have to devote myself to doing some studying. But hopefully everything pans out. So anyhow, let's go into our goal setting for this year. Maybe maybe try to tackle, what's some of the challenges that you will face with that goal, or is it going to be a short-term goal, a long-term goal? Is it something that you think is going to help you out mentally, with your, anything you think you need what type of skills you need to meet this goal, these goals. So I'll start it off, let you guys think about it. I know those are a lot of questions. So for me, I'm going to try to repeat my same goal that I did last year, and that is to actually devote myself to at least 2 months of hardcore studying. Now, not a lot of people know this, but the MCAT is a whole day test. All right, for our listeners out there that wants to get into medical school, there's a lot of things that you need to do, and one of the biggest, maybe 80% of that, is taking the MCAT. And there are four different sections in the MCAT, and there's a science section, there's a passage section called CARS, there's a physics section / math, and these are everything that you could think about, anything from physics to statistics, all the way down to biochem, chemistry, organic chemistry 1 and 2, all the labs you did. Well, if you were a biology major or any type of major, science major, math major, everything that you did from when you were a young kid and, preschool, all the way to elementary, all the way to high school, and then to college, everything is going to be covered, so it's very demanding, the test, and it's one of those things that if I don't really have the skill set from when, like your foundation, your basic maths, you wouldn't really, like, you really need well, my advice is, like, if you were to try to get into, like, get into medical school, maybe major in the sciences, maybe major in the maths. That'll give you all the foundations you need to actually study for the MCAT. So for me, I'm using a Kaplan. It's pretty formatted. They have different sections. Will have me focus on those different sections, give me some tips. So that's one of the study platforms that I'm using to study for the MCAT. There's all other interesting features that's online that you could actually get. But the difference is, if you're going to study, you need to know what to study. So a lot of folks, that I've talked to, they're studying everything and anything, and then it gets them overwhelmed during their study sessions, and then they end up not studying, period. And that's where I kind of was the whole last year, where I was kind of doing it on my own until I kind of stumbled upon Kaplan and their study sessions for the MCAT. So that's what kind of made it easy for me. So that's my goal, is to study for the MCAT. And the other thing too is you only have 7 chances in your lifetime to take the test. If you miss all those 7 chances, the best score you could get in the MCAT is probably like a 525, if you get, which is really hard. That's like top 1% of the folks. But if you get at least a 500 or 515, that'll be decent. That'll get you into a good medical school. But, it really comes down to like, hey, just really good practices when you're studying. So those are kind of like my areas. The other thing that I kind of developed the whole last year was being really patient, especially mentally. That's one of the hardest things when I'm studying, is like I have OCD, like I need to move around, get up and do this. So what I decided to do was I decided to go to Starbucks. So I just sat at Starbucks for like the whole morning. And, the smell of coffee kept me up. And, it was nice because, I could just put on my earphones, just look at, and start studying, writing down my notes and all that stuff. Anyhow, I think I'm beating a dead horse here. But yeah, the MCAT is not only lengthy, it takes a lot of effort to do. And then at the same time, that test is darn expensive. So you got to save up some money. You're looking at $300 just to take the MCAT, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to take the MCAT, you got to save up some money, and you got 7 chances, and that's like what, $2,100 right there if you don't get in the first time or the second time. Anyhow, fellas, I know that was long-winded, but that's one of my goals that I've been trying to set for the longest time. It's one of the things that I'm passionate about, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And you guys are, we're gonna, you guys are gonna be there for the graduation when it does, when I do get in, and hopefully everything goes well.
Are you a veteran, military member, law enforcement officer, hospital worker, or educator dreaming of owning your own home? Frontline Heroes is here to make that dream a reality. Their program is designed by a group of realtors, lenders, and escrow specialists who want to give back to those who served our communities. Here's how it works. Their realtors pledge to contribute 25% of their commission, while lenders chip in half a percentage towards closing costs and other fees associated with buying a house. It's their way of honoring your service and making home ownership more attainable. Contact Dan Taylor at 801-512-4200 to learn more and take the first step towards owning your own home. Frontline Heroes, turning dreams into keys.
For sure. The fact that you're long-winded about it shows how passionate you are about it. So, I know you're going down the right track, man. So congrats. Congrats to you again for being a father in the last year. Congrats to Michael again for his bachelor's degree, because, those are some major goals, major stepping stones to accomplish. And yeah, I've got a few goals this year that are kind of an adjustment of my goals last year. So actually, one of my homies, one of the Usos at the club at my previous job, he said something really cool to me, because I went up to him. We were all back from Christmas break. New Year's was coming up. New Year's was a big weekend for the club scene, and I was like, hey man, I was just asking everybody, oh, you got any New Year's resolutions? You got any resolutions? And this guy, he's a young man, but he was like, I think he's like 25 or something. He's like, my goal this year is to get ready for my goal next year or something. And I thought that was really cool, because it showed that he didn't have he wasn't being short-sighted, that he's got specific tangible goals for where he wants to be in life at a certain age. I'm like, man, I wish I was thinking like you when I was 25, because he's already he's like, look, this year I got to grind, save my money, because I'm going to, in the next year, be investing into this or that. I'm like, congrats to you, man. Because I'm only just starting to kind of think like that. I'm usually pretty short-sighted with a lot of things. I don't make a lot of long-term plans. It's just one of my biggest flaws. Last year, everything was about my art stuff. I was like, hey, I'm going into this storyboarding mentorship. I want to get it, make art my whole profession and stuff. I started off the year trucking, and very quickly realized I just couldn't make that work. Like realistically, as much as I enjoy the work of trucking, like look, it gives time to work on your art goals or your home life. You basically have no home life, despite my company promising me I'd be home every weekend. It just wasn't happening. And I was like, look, I do not want to meet my next wife at a truck stop. Like I have to have a home life, like it's, no disrespect to the ladies of the truck stops, but, they're not into you like that. But, anyway, so
snow bunnies.
Yeah. It's like, look, point is like, as much as I like trucking, it was something where I was like, look, unless you want to do this for the rest of your life, I probably better get out now, and I salute to Johnny, because like Johnny is a very successful trucker and maintains his family life. Yeah, he's found a way to make it work, I believe, as a dedicated driver. But I was ready to move on from that. And I was really like, no, got to get focused on this art thing. But as the time went on, like, I was fully into this mentorship, and I just, I had this mental blocker. Like, it's like every time I try to make art my sole focus, like for my career, I just enjoy it less and less. And it started to become like, man, I don't even want to do this. Right. And I was like, what's it going to be like once I make this my entire career, And so I was thinking, you know what, it's getting too late in life to be like fooling around with it. Maybe I'll get into it, maybe not. Plus it's holding up all my other goals. My other goals basically being having a paying out successful career where I can afford a home and support a family. And I'm like, if all of that is on hold because of this art thing, then maybe it's time to wave goodbye to that goal so I can more fully focus on the other goals that I have in life. And I went back to work at the nightclub, which was great. Like the excess, I've always left on good terms when I left those jobs before. And so I'm like, it's a pretty good paying job if you're looking for one. It does give you plenty of time to do other stuff during the week. But I just got fully involved in that, and I ended up crossing paths with some old friends from one of my Army units, and they're like, now they're working in one of the armed security divisions at the Win, which pays way better. And they said, hey, you're eligible for this job. Why don't you apply? And at first I said no, because I said, look, I'm focusing on my art stuff. Then I started thinking, I'm like, wait, why is it that I have a very good, well-paying opportunity right in front of me, and I'm saying no to this opportunity because of some weird goal that I made when I was a kid that I had to draw for a living? It's like, it's not that I don't enjoy art, and I definitely do. I just feel like, maybe I sunk too much time in the Army in my earlier years. And, it's like at this point at 37 years old, I don't want to be like trying to make that work. Now I really just want to move on to the next phase where I'm just well paid and getting ready for, my other goals, supporting a family, getting my own home again. And so that's where I'm at. And so like it feeds into my goal this year is just, I've already been hired on. I'm a trainee at my new job, my new armed position. And I just want to get as proficient at this job as I can. And that's really my whole goal in this, because I'm well paid for my time. And I want to make sure that payment is not something that's for nothing, that, I'm actually an asset to my department and that we're earning our pay, so to speak. And I'm really enjoying it so far. And, I just want to keep that focus throughout the year. So I just keep getting better at get better at my shooting, get better at my knowing my doctrines, and, and posting up guard and keep, just making a safe environment for, the guests and employees and, the property at the Win, because that kind of became something I realized when I went back to the club, is that like, I actually enjoy this work. That's probably a reason why I keep coming back to this work. I enjoy security roles. I like looking out for people and basically being a watchdog if I can. I enjoy knowing that people can have a safe time because they've got me covering their back. So I don't know, just kind of a reevaluation of my goals. And that's kind of what I'm looking at this year.
Nice. I got a quick question. Art wise, I keep forgetting to ask you this. What do you call your type of style in your art? Is it like abstract, or is it kind of like street, or is it kind of like a Renaissance? Like I know I saw some of your art, man, and I really want to see it in like a like a little where you sell art. Like you set up your own room and then you sell your art. What do you call that? Like a gallery? Gallery?
I am kind of all over the place with it. Like I think I mainly just call it character art. But yeah, like sometimes it can be very cartoony, and sometimes it's like it can be pretty realistic. You know, it just kind of depends on what I'm feeling at the time. I like to blend through a few different styles and stuff. But I think, you know, like I said, like when I came to a realization that I don't want to do art for a living, doesn't mean that I don't want to do art, period. I enjoy being an artist. And I think like as I alleviate some more time and capital for myself, I want to invest in like basically, I do want to keep selling my artwork, but maybe as a commission or maybe like just putting it on t-shirts or something and selling t-shirts, you know, just something basically a little side hustle hobby, you know, like I said, I've been saying for years that my artwork is basically less of a job and more of a hobby that just occasionally pays out. And I'm okay with that. You know, I do it because I enjoy it. And, you know, I wish I could describe it better. I just say character art because when people start saying, hey, can you design my logo? Hey, can you design this background for me? I'm like, I don't do that. You know, I just draw characters, you know.
It reminds me of the stories of a lot of musicians and artists who became famous in their 50s later on in life. They've been doing small gigs and being street performers, and then suddenly one thing like on social media made them famous, and now they're leading bands and stuff out there. But I'm glad that you've been able to solidify your a career right now, especially in something that you've enjoyed doing for many years as security. So for me lately, I have been thinking of the direction of where the podcast will lead, and also the direction of what I want to do with my personal life. And I actually want to draw back on a lot of community involvement and try to solely focus on growing our platform into something. Last year, I was very involved in the community, but then that community involvement became a setback for me to try and grow our platform because I was too focused on something, giving a lot of my time to a lot of people and that are outside of my social circle, and not just focusing on what I have in front of me. So that's one of the things that I want to do is for the podcast is draw it back and just solely focus on who we are, what we are, you know, the who, what, when, not when, but why we do why we do the podcast. And I basically for now, I only live for, you know, family, the podcast, and just helping out here and there the people in the community. I don't want to overextend my hand on things that I'm not able to. You know, when you give too much, it almost seems like a waste of time because you're not getting anything in return. That's how I feel right now, especially since I've learned the players who are in the community. I've learned what to do and what not to do, and especially I've learned what to avoid this year. So I'll be drawing back on my focus on working with the chamber. I'll be drawing back on my focus on doing other things than, you know, investing in our own podcast. And one of those things I want to solely focus on this year is the Pacific Island Veterans Day dinner. That's mainly our baby right there. I want it to be something that is continued annually, and I've been thinking of turning it into a non-profit. It just depends on the direction it would go to this year. So the podcast, the dinner for our veterans and family. I have been beating myself up because my girls are now 9 and 7. They will be basically 8 and 10. So they're growing up very fast. And while I'm focusing on these things, I'm missing out on a lot in their life. I feel like I've missed out a lot because my attention hasn't been on them. So that's one of the things that I want to focus on this year is try to create some memories and build a sturdier relationship with them. Because I know that I'm not a good father, but I try to be the best father to the best of my abilities, you know, providing any support I can to their lives. So So that's basically what I want to focus on this year is a podcast and family.
Just saying, like, yeah, being a little harsh on yourself, man. You're definitely a good father. You're father to those are my nieces. I love them with all my heart, and I was like, this man is a good father to them. I've always appreciated you for that. But no, I get what you're saying though. It's like it's good to refocus, especially when you definitely need to focus on yourself. And that's not coming from a place of selfishness or something. It's coming from a place of reality. I think of it like when it comes to your time and attention, your effort, your energy, you only have so much to go around. Unfortunately, we're not omnipotent. We're not omnipresent. We can't be everywhere all at once. We can't be helping everybody as much as we wish we could. And so I think of it like you get your paycheck and you want to help out everybody so much. You cash that check in and you're handing out all this money to your neighbors and your friends. But then, you haven't paid your rent yet. Now you're more in debt. Now you can't get by and things are harder on you. You might even lose your job, and so now that energy, that effort that you had to go around to share with everybody, now you have even less of it to help. And so like in the long term, you help more people by helping yourself. I mean, that's the way that I think about it anyway. So I think that's a good way to, reshuffle your priorities and, focus on helping others by helping yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It's always good to refocus, especially when a lot of your energy goes into something and you're not getting the same energy back. So it's always good to reshuffle, your priorities, see where you're supposed to be at. Because I'm in the same boat. Every time I wake up, I look in the mirror. I'm like, man, the same with Spence. Like, hey, my birthday was this past week, by the way, and I'm like, man, you getting old, brother. What are you doing? You still playing golf? Like I look at myself and I talk to my lady, and be like, man, I'm over here supporting you. You're in the military. I feel like I'm like between the pickle and the rock. I don't know if that's the phrase or not, but I'm like stuck. But and then I get so depressed, and that's where I'm kind of at. And then I kind of hop out of myself, or trying to. But the thing is, when I look at my daughter, that's a different story. That it just brings me back happiness and all that. That's good stuff. Tan, you were talking about our dinner, brother. Do you want to let the folks? I know we're posting out on social media. Do you want to talk a little bit about it? What kind of our ideas? Where we're going with it? Where we're at as far as sponsorship. If you want to touch on those things, so that way our listeners can know. If not, just I know we're already posting on social media. So if you want to touch up on it, that would be great for our listeners.
Yes, so currently we're at the initial planning phase of our dinner, but we have decided to make it a gala or gala. I'm not sure what term it is, but we decided to make a gala this year to try to up the expectations and try to up the ante. We're trying to make it, I wouldn't say a little bit better, but set a standard for our dinners for years to come. So the dinner for this year is set on November 8th, which is a Friday at 6 p.m. We have no location at the moment, but it will be determined and announced at a later time. We are always seeking for sponsors and donors if you want to contribute to this event. And if you want to, just contact us on social media or at our email behindthelavalava@gmail.com. We're always looking for those who want to make a difference and honor our veterans. So basically for this dinner, obviously the theme is Pacific Island, but it's open to all veterans, no matter your background, your ethnicity, wherever you came from. This is for all veterans. The dinner is inclusive. And we want to honor our veterans because us, your hosts of Behind the Lava Lava, are what? Guess what? We're veterans ourselves. So we're doing this because we understand. We understand what it feels like to be a veteran. We understand your service. You understand the need of camaraderie the brothership, the sisterhood. We understand how you feel, the veteran. So it's free to a veteran, and they're +1. It is open to the public, but the prices for general admission will be announced later. Right now we're just focusing on getting the veterans. The seats have been increased to between 250. Hopefully we can bump it up to 300 depending on the venue. So right now the seating is between 200 to 250. So those are the events for the dinner right now. Hopefully if you're listening or tuning in, you sign up, because you know what? The seats go very fast, and a lot of our people are Pacific Island people. We have no problem with the other ethnicities. They sign up early, but our Pacific Island people, they wait until the last couple days, and then they message me, and I'm like, sorry, sold out. You know, you snooze, you lose on these seats. And we'll have a guest speaker. We'll probably announce our guest speaker later on, and it'll be a great and fun night.
Well, it's an island event, but we are not hosting it on island time.
Hey, thank you, Press, for that. I have 2 more things. Yeah, I just wanted to say, if you're a veteran out there, please sign up for this dinner. You know, the reason why is, you know, you think about it this way, you know, throughout the whole year, you put in claims and you got denial after denial. This is the best chance for you to come and sit and eat and then wait for the good news. You know, you're putting in your claims, whatever you're trying to do, you know, and you got all these sad, you know, letters from the VA saying, oh, you got denied, whatever, you know, whatever it is. And I think about it this way. Come join us in November, you know, sit there, and then, you know, possibly you'll get a good letter, you know, during that month before Thanksgiving, or, you know, good news before Christmas. Now that we got our personal goal settings away, I guess just got one question for both of you. What is a hypothetical like goal that you would want to set if, you know, if say, you know, like money wasn't like an issue? You know, for me, for example, I would actually want to buy a Maybach. You know, that's one of my goals. If you know, just like a hypothetical goal, if I was rich and had all the money, and, you know, I want to buy a Maybach, you know, buy me a nice car. And so that way I'm rolling around in my Matai watch and, you know, rolling down the streets of El Paso, you know, and everybody looking at me. And then probably the following week, the cartel is going to steal. But yeah, but that's just, you know, hypothetical goal, you know. So, you know, just one. Well, what do you guys want to do? And, you know, set.
For me, I would start a business. If money wasn't an issue, I would start a business right now. I would buy a warehouse in a good location, and I will basically turn it into a multimedia studio where people can do podcasting, photography, videography. And then next to my warehouse, my studio warehouse, I would build a store where I would sell high-end island merch that are brands like Allies Eyewear, Matai, and all these island brands need to be shown to the world, you know, because we, you know, our Pacifica people are very talented. We have businesses out there that are selling amazing stuff that a lot of our people are not aware of. So I want to be the first in Utah to hold luxury island brands in a store and, you know, multimedia studio.
Today's episode is brought to you by Top Gun Home Inspection, a leading home inspection company in Utah. When it comes to home inspections, details matter. That's why Top Gun Home Inspection is committed to providing thorough and meticulous services. From the foundation to the roof, their experienced inspectors leave no stone unturned. They offer a range of services, ensuring that every aspect of your home is safe and up to standard. So, whether you're buying a new home or just want to keep your current one in top shape, trust Top Gun Home Inspection. Remember, a detailed home inspection today can save you from costly repairs tomorrow. Top Gun Home Inspection, where your home's health is our top priority.
Man, that's Michael, man, the business minded one. All the money in the world, he just wants to keep building, but that's what I respect about him. But man, for me, money was no issue. I've said it before. This is another one of my goals I failed on last year. I'm very, very overdue for a visit to my family in the islands. I want to go back to LA. I haven't been there since I was 4 years old. Like, I am overdue for catching up with family. I don't want to just be waiting around to go back for funerals or something. I want to see my family while we're all still around, and so, yeah, money's no issue when I get my money right. And that is my goal. Like, I will be traveling in the near future, because I want to, connect those dots and, like, revisit the homeland and all of that. And, just stay on that goal. Maybe if I had a little money left over, and if I'm brave enough, I'll try to see if I can go get but like, so I gotta get my money right for that too. So, there's my money goals right there.
I forgot to add this. To save myself from my wife's wrath, I would add her store. I'll build a store for her on the opposite side of the warehouse. So mine will be the right side, hers will be the left side, because she wants to run a business, media, boba, and all her drinks and all that other stuff that I simply ignore until she wants to solidify her plans. But yeah, I'm gonna put it out there that I'll open up a building for my wife to start her own business, separate from mine.
Hey, I'm gonna follow in your footsteps and save myself from the wrath of my lady. As I'm driving in my Maybach, she's right next to me, chilling with her, permed out here. I don't know if people doing perm, but anyhow, whatever style she got going on, right next to me in that Maybach. All right, fellas, one more question. Lastly, but not the least, what are you guys thankful for? One thing could be multiple things. Yeah, what are you guys thankful for?
Well, I guess I'll say first off, I'm thankful for this new job opportunity that I have. Like I said, it kind of fell into my lap, and I'm glad that I finally had the clarity to say yes to something instead of endlessly delaying it for some other arbitrary goal. I'm grateful for my support groups too. I mentioned to you guys before we were recording that I was kind of having some struggles this week mentally and stuff. And I have a lot of good people around me, my roommates here who are also, my brothers in arms in the Army side of things. And, I can, pour my heart out to them, my Phi Kava groups, like all the guys at the Kalapu and everything, and like y'all, they're always there for me, always just let me know, hey, you need some camaraderie. That's what we're here for. Shouts out to KMZ, shouts out to Young Tigers and Kelly Taifu. But all you people in the Vegas area, you're good to me, and I appreciate that. And I'm grateful for, Heavenly Father's, support, because that's where I always go to, and everything else seems down. I do go to him in prayer, because I know that, not to get too preachy on here, but I'm a big believer in the scriptures where he says, my hand is outstretched still. If there's ever a time where you feel at your lowest and you feel like he's not playing a role in your life, it is not because he's withdrawn his hand. He's promised that in the scriptures that his hand is outstretched still. It is up to us to reach out and grasp it. And so, I'm not going to preach anymore on that, but it just, that is honestly what I'm grateful for. And thankful to you guys too, because you guys are all as well a great support group for me. So, Fafatai Lava, it's both of you. And T.
I love that, Spence. Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you, Uso.
Yeah, I'm grateful for
Malo Uso.
I'm grateful for my wife. Obviously, I have to call her out. I'm grateful for her, mainly because a lot of these stuff, the podcasting and me going out in the community without her permission, I wouldn't be able to do it. It just depends on her mood. So the second thing I'm grateful for is the behind the lava friends. That's what I want to call all our supporters and our followers and those who have kept up with us and those who have recently joined us. I want to thank each and every one of you for being on this journey with us. It hasn't been all, it hasn't been easy, but you stuck with us, and I've received a lot of positive engagement, positivity, especially when I go out to events. People notice us, and I'm grateful for that, because without our audience, we wouldn't be able to continue doing what we do and getting the, what's the word? I would say maybe I'll put it, notoriety and the audience that we have right now. So again, thank you to all our supporters and followers of Behind the Lava Lava, and those who have helped us on our journey. And next, I want to also say thank you to each and every one of our hosts of Behind the Lava Lava. I'm so grateful that you guys have continued to be with me on this journey, because without you guys, I don't know, we wouldn't have these episodes. I'm sure I can tackle episodes solo, but it's no fun without you guys. It's not fun. It's not easy talking to myself, and it's not, there's no sense of purpose without you guys. So thank you to my Behind the Lava Lava cast.
Hey, you guys pretty much summed up everything that I wanted to say thank you for, So, so those are pretty much the same things, I think we all think alike, So, that's one of the same things, I'm thankful for family. Initially, thankful to God initially, because without Him, we want to be here. I don't care what your background is, whatever you come from, what creed you represent. I'm just thankful that God has presented me the opportunity to still breathe. So every single day, thankful for family. That's the biggest thing. Immediate family, my small circle initially, my lady and my daughter, my son, just the opportunity just to see them every single day. One of the biggest changes, I forgot to mention this, last year I was 375. I am now 356. Yes, sir. That was a big,
congratulations, man.
Thank you. That's one of the biggest,
really nice,
things I wanted to change was just my appetite, stay away from the sugars, trying to, live a little bit longer so that way I could see my daughter and all the achievements and everything that she'll succeed in life. Thank you for this platform. Thankful for you guys. I know some of the fellas are not here with us tonight, but hey, they'll be tuning in and listening. I thank you guys, T, Johnny, everything. Hopefully everything goes well with what's going on in each of you guys' lives, and I appreciate it. So yeah, last but not least, thankful to myself. This past week, my lady and the sister, they had to go up to a funeral. Actually, this last 2 weeks, we were doing a lot of traveling. We had to go initially to Hawaii because lady's great grandpa passed away. He was 100 years old. While we were there in Hawaii, they found out that their auntie passed away in Seattle. So when we got back Wednesday of last week, or this past week, they flew up the same day to go up to Seattle. So from Wednesday until today, I was by myself with the kids. First time in a long time, just by myself. Straight 5 days. And I tell you what, man, I did it. I didn't burn down the house. I didn't suffer. I didn't, whatever, I was just first time daddy by himself, so, and I thank myself because, I thought I wasn't going to do it. I thought I wasn't going to last with the kids, man, but patience, man. Patience is key. This past few days with just the kids, especially my 2-year-old, man, this guy flying around. I just wanted to, man, but the patience, man, the patience was key here. Anyhow, hey, Prez, you had some remarks for us?
No, just a question. What do you guys think about the trending thing about manifestation? How people tell you, say something out loud. Say you manifest that you're gonna blah blah blah, do this and that, and it'll come true. What do you guys think about that? Because my wife has been doing that a lot, and I always tease her when I say something out loud, like I pray to the manifestation God that this will, or the manifestation spirit that this will happen, and blah blah blah. But it's been a trend lately, especially on social media, for people to say things out loud and it'll happen. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna kick this, man. Words are very powerful, and I think we're kind of stumbling in what we call the law of attraction. Like you think you say it out loud. Same thing. Whatever you put out to the universe is going to respond back. If you put out positive thoughts and you say, hey, you want to do this and do that, and it's gonna respond back. But I've been taught by my mom growing up that it's not only important to say stuff, it's also important to work on what you're saying. And both of those will actually, the universe will then reward you, in that sense. So that's my thoughts on it. Law of Attraction. I read that book a while back, and now I think it was on Netflix some time ago. And I kind of, I still believe it. I still believe it till this day, man. And if I'm doing good deeds, I'm going to be rewarded for it, because I know in Hawaii, just recently in Hawaii, I've never lost my wallet. Never dropped my wallet on the floor. But before this incident, this happened last week, I think last Sunday. All right, we were parked in front of Halikoa, the parking, going in, and I was going to take out the luggage. I don't know what I was doing. Anyhow, I wasn't in my thoughts. I just hopped up the car, went, talked to my lady, bring all the stuff, and then the guy came up and like, hey, I think this is your wallet. I'm like, what the hell? And I had a lot of money in there too, But what I'm saying is, before that happened, there's been many instances where I found people's wallets, and I always go back and return. So, I mean, I know I'm not saying this, but I'm saying like the good deeds that I did for others, now I'm being rewarded for it, because that guy could have took my wallet, took the money, and threw it away. So yeah, I believe in it.
I think this actually brings everything like back around full circle to what started this episode, is talking about our resolutions. I said it. That's why I think I enjoy doing New Year's resolutions, saying this is what I want to accomplish this year, just so I have a direction to operate in. Like, of course, plans will change as time goes on, but the point is that we're moving in a direction. I like that saying, stand for something or fall for nothing, or stand for something or fall for anything, variations of that. Point is that you've got a direction to go, because if you're just, idle hands are the devil's plaything, like it's just, by staying preoccupied, by stating your goal. It's like, I don't know about like the exact principles of manifestation. I don't know if I completely buy into that, but the point is, yeah, like you said, words are powerful. Putting it out there, saying this is what I'm working on, this is what I want, that precedes you actually going out there, working on it and doing it. And I did promise I wouldn't get too much more preachy, but sometimes the Sunday Faikava is we have a Paki night. It's like a Bible study, and like we were reading James chapter 3 recently, and that's such a powerful thing, because that James talks about the fire of the tongue, or the power of the tongue. Like, think about it. You put bits in the horse's mouths, and you can guide the whole animal. That's a great beast of burden. But with that little thing in its mouth, you can control the direction it goes, or how great a forest is burned down by a small fire. Point is like James is talking about how powerful your words are, by saying like you need to learn to control your tongue if you want to be a perfect person. You need to control your words. Like, point is, it all comes back around to the fact that yes, your words are powerful, and yes, I believe in my mind that's where the whole idea of manifestation comes from, is that you have to say it before you can achieve it, or at least start working towards achieving it. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I should stop being a rebel towards my wife, but it brings me back to, I don't know which Chinese uncle said this, but you give good karma you do good, you get good karma back. You do bad, you get bad karma back. So we are just ripples in the universe, and what you do comes back to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the ending of our session. Really want to say I really appreciate you guys taking this time to listen to us, talk about our goals, talk about stuff that we want to, accomplish in our lives. And we also want to say, hey, if you have your own personal goals and you're thinking about certain things that you want to accomplish, we say go for it. I would say that I'm speaking on behalf of our team, but hey, go for it, do it. There's nothing in this life that can stop you but yourself. So it's 2024, 2023. It was yesterday. Think about moving forward, whatever things that, is going on in your life and things that you want to accomplish today, this year, get it done. We're going to try to get it done. I know for me, at least, I'm going to try to get it done. And that's what, not try, be like Nike. Just do it, just do it. Anyhow, I'd like to close this session off. If you guys have any comments or would like to, discuss, hit us up on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe. We want to get to a level where we're going to monetize our YouTube side. Just hit like on there, subscribe to our YouTubes, even our social media, share it. If you want to make some comment, go ahead, put it down there. We're more than happy to respond in our own way, if that makes sense. Anyhow, you guys have a good year. Thank you for tuning in and take care.
Working on my interests, it's who I am. I'm trying to make these digits look like EINs. When the help ain't free, you all help me. Salute to folks who turn their names to LLCs. The wealth is in itself to help a non-profit. To be better women or better men, whether business by veterans or common folks with a dream. We're all born with the same strength. We tread waters that were untouched. Let's be on the same wavelength. Behind the lava, front of our eyes. Let our legacy live off it when we're up in the sky. All signs point to us to help someone make a difference. With God as my witness, let's talk business.